Forget paying top dollar for landing pages. With AI, we can create our own as beautiful as we want them, as functional as we need them in minutes. This video is going to step you through how I create landing pages, custom designed, absolutely perfect in minutes every time. Okay, now there's a number of steps involved here. The first is we got to get our copy. All right, so I turned to Claude and I had Claude create for me. We're going to do a 90-day prep timeline checklist for people wanting to sell their home. That's what I did. I said give it a much better title because this is terrible, but at least it gets the point across. So Claude went ahead and designed it. I'm not going to use that design. I just wanted the text. So here's the text it came up with, and it's decent. I would use this. I will use this. This will be my example. So this is our landing page copy. All we're doing is we're going to give away a PDF that includes a checklist and then a 90-day timeline that prospective home sellers can use to get their home ready for maximum selling success. That's the goal. That's what we want to do, and that's what we want to give them. Okay, so here's our copy generated in seconds. Obviously, you're going to want to tweak whatever statistics or data you get in there, maybe based on your own experience. Okay, so we got that. To design the page itself, we are going to use what's called an AI agent called Replete. Now, or Replit, or whatever you want to call it. I've used this for some time. I've created tons and tons of pages. It's a bit of a learning curve. Watch this video, see exactly how I do it. Now, I'm going to build this on a WordPress website. It can be done very similarly on any platform, but many people use WordPress, so I'm going to use that. So just like any AI, we got a prompt. We got to tell it what we wanted. So I want you to design beautiful lead magnet freebie landing page using copy I attach. This will go on WordPress website. You want to mention the platform because that may dictate somewhat how it does the coding. Please just create the HTML and CSS files. I'm not creating a site from scratch. I don't need any of that. I just need the HTML and the CSS, which is the copy and the style. That's it. I like full width styling with a hero section at the top. This is pretty standard landing page stuff. I give it my color scheme. So if you have a color scheme, these are hex codes and you've got it all set out, just give it and it will create a design based on those colors. Here's the copy for the page. I copied from Claude and we will let it go. All right, it's going to start going. Now, this isn't seconds. This is minutes. It does take a little while, and I usually have a few rounds of revisions. But trust me, this is a lot cheaper than paying every month for a landing page software. Way cheaper than hiring someone to create one for yourself. You could create these on the fly. You could take an hour or two in the morning and come up with a few lead magnets and fire up a bunch of landing pages and Facebook lead ads or Facebook ads to your landing page or whatever you want, and you will be in business. Okay, so we could start with the design or we can just build the entire app. Let's just build the entire app. All right. This is a very simple operation for this AI. People use Replit to create various software platforms, apps, the whole 9 yards. To create a landing page is child's play for Replit. All right, so while this is underway, let's dive into the back end of the WordPress website. Now I created a page. I just call it something here. This is not going to show up on the front. I just use this so I know which page it is in the admin. All right, now if you're not familiar with WordPress, this part might throw you off a little bit. Hopefully there's some similarities to your own platform that you use. Now, a few things we want to take care of here. I use Cadence themes. So if you don't use Cadence theme, you may not see a lot of the features that I'm using here, but most good themes with WordPress will have similar options. So what I want to do here is I want to make this full width page. I want to disable the title. It gets rid of this, it won't show up on the page, and I want to unbox it. That's all I need to do. All right. Cadence has this really cool feature where I can add custom CSS to just the page, so it won't show up on the entire site, won't slow down the entire site. The custom CSS that Ripley is going to code for me will just go here. You're going to be blown away by how easy it is. I know you're looking at this stuff right now and you're looking at this AI agent, and if you've never used one, you're like, oh, that looks a little complicated. Like seriously, roll up your sleeves, just give it a shot. You just talk to it as if you hired a developer and you're in layperson's terms, we're saying, I want this, can you do this? That's all you got to do, and it will do a remarkable job. All right, so we've got our page set up here. One other thing we want to do is we want to add our SEO title and description, and that's important to add. And again, it's going to depend on the plugin you use, on the theme you use. But for me, I use Rank Math, which is a very, very popular SEO plugin. I don't like this title at all. That's not going to work for me. But what I did do is I turned to ChatGPT. I basically pasted in all the Claude content. I find ChatGPT is a little bit better when it comes to like just straight up short, punchy copywriting. If I need something a little bit more robust, then I go to Claude. So try both, see what you like. And then, so I copied all that in there and I just said, write SEO title and description for this. Boom, we got it right here. There's my title and it's good. I like it. It will work. We'll put that there. So this is what will show up in Google search, if it does show up in Google search. There's never a guarantee about that. And then we take our description and we add it here. Okay, so we pretty much got the foundation set up here. I'm just going to use what's called a custom HTML block. This is where all the Replit code, you don't see the code yet, it's working on it. There we go. All right, you get to even get a preview. I'm digging it. I'm digging this a lot, actually. That will work. Wow, okay, it kind of did it straight out of the gates here first time. That's pretty rare. This is workable right here. Okay, so our page is set up. There is one thing we need to do though, and we need to add, and I'm going to show you on my site, okay? Okay, this is a landing page I created in the exact same way that I'm doing. This is for my own purposes. But what we have here is we got this email form. Now, Replete can code email capture and integrate it with, you know, your email service provider, if it's MailChimp or Kit or your IDX platform, whatever. Okay, it can do that. That's a very much more complex coding task. I don't recommend you do it. What I do recommend you do instead is you get the embed code from whatever email service software you use, and then we're going to give it to Replete and say, we got to add this as the form. And so this form right here is from Kit. I happen to use kit.com. That's the email service provider I like using. And I just get an embed code and it puts it in here. And now it's automatically integrated with my Kit account, and I don't have to do any funky integrations or connections or Zapier or anything like that. It's there, it's ready to go. So in Kit, I would just basically create a new form. I want just the bare form. There's a template for this option. You just want the form. You don't want all the other stuff. And while I'm in Kit, you might be wondering yourself, well, you know, I've checked out Kit, or I used Kit, and I've used other, and you may have used others, and they all come with built-in landing page options, and you can use them, no question. Okay, you can use them. I like everything about Kit, but I don't like their landing pages. I don't like their forms. I think their designs are terrible. They often don't look good on mobile. It's not a deal breaker for me not to use Kit because I can make my own custom landing pages. Now, it been a long time since I've used MailChimp, but I have a sneaky suspicion their landing pages are probably a little bit nicer. I don't care about a lot of other things with MailChimp, but I think their landing pages are nicer. I am really big into just creating my own these days because I can create it exactly the way I want really fast. Like mucking around with templates, that can be a time-consuming, tedious process trying to get it just the way you want. You often compromise and don't get it the way you want. With creating my own, I get it exactly the way I want. But we do need this form. So what we do is just take the embed. I use the JavaScript. We're going to copy that. We're going to come here, and it is still working. Okay, it's still working on the first draft. So I am going to just let that finish before if I throw in another prompt now, it's just going to go in a queue. It's not going to work. So I'm just going to let this do its thing. You can see it does take a few minutes. It's unfortunately not instant. I'm sure one day it will be, but we're just going to sit tight here and let this go. So we have our code, we have our page set up. Once we get our files here, we're done. And we just add it to the website. I'm just going to pause. I'm going to let this finish up here, and then we'll come back. You'll see what the files look like, how we can take basically the code from Replit, add it to the WordPress website, and finish up the landing page. Okay, so while I was working, I went ahead and I said replace the email form that they put a dummy placeholder in with here's that Kit form from here. and I wanted that in there because that's the form I need. And I just had some code stuff removed, and we are done. So here's our files. Okay, here's how you find your files, because it's not intuitive. You come here and you go to your files, and I know you're looking at this and you're saying, I'm never going to do that. I'm not a coder. I've never coded anything other than with the help of AI. Here are the 2 pages we need. We just need the HTML and the CSS. That's it. And all we do is we take all of this and we dump it right there. And then we come back and we take our CSS. We take this and we come into our CSS script placement and we put it there. That's it. And we're going to publish this. And we're going to take a look. Look at that. Out of thin air. It's got our form in there. Now I would test this form, make sure it works, make sure it's sending to the email database. Obviously, you would tweak this for your own use. This is pretty amazing. Just like that. So you can build that in minutes on your own, and you can make as many of these as you like, and you could become a real estate lead gen machine. Thanks for watching.